And here is the Writer's Almanac for Sunday. It's the 7th of November, 2021. The Bolshevik Revolution began on this date in Russia in 1917, which led to the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. 1917, in the fall, the Tsar Nicholas II was very unpopular. The military had suffered many losses to Germany in World War I. Food was scarce, inflation was high. There had been an uprising in Petrograd in February that forced the Tsar to step down, and he was succeeded by a provisional government, a democratic government. Vladimir Lenin, who had been in exile for 10 years, led the revolution. He came back secretly across the border, gave the order for the workers' militia to seize government buildings, but the military was demoralized, did not come to the defense. The Tsar's palace almost deserted, and there was almost no resistance. It was on this day, 1805, Lewis and Clark first saw the Pacific Ocean. After a year of travel overland from St. Louis, they were near the mouth of the Columbia River. They wrote in their journal, "Great joy, we are in view of the ocean, which we have been so long anxious to see, and the roaring made by the waves breaking on the rocky shores may be heard distinctly." They built a log stockade 50 feet square, spent the winter there, headed back to St. Louis. And it's the birthday of Joni Mitchell, 1943, Fort Macleod, Alberta, Canada. Bought a guitar with an instruction booklet, but her fingers had been affected by polio, so she had to devise her own way of playing and tuning her guitar. Went to Toronto, then New York City, and then to the Newport Folk Festival in 1966. It's the birthday of the physicist and chemist Marie Curie, born in 1867 in Warsaw, who discovered radium, without which we wouldn't have X-rays or certain cancer therapies. She did her work in France with her husband Pierre. They moved there and set up a lab in a decrepit warehouse outside their atelier. Warehouse which had an asphalt floor, a glass roof broken in several places, heated by a cast-iron stove in the winter. Marie Curie often stirred the heavy, molten mass of radioactive products in a cauldron herself, sometimes slipped samples into her pockets and carried them around. Nobody knew then about the harmful effects of radiation. She died in 1934 from exposure to radioactivity. It's the birthday of the Danish poet Benny Andersen, born in Vangede, a suburb of Copenhagen, in 1929. The most popular poet in Denmark, a national literary hero, Benny Andersen, who wrote, "We have 12 clocks in the house, and it strikes me there's not enough time. You go out to the kitchen, get chocolate milk for your spindly son, but when you get back, he's grown too old for chocolate milk, demands beer, girls, revolution." Here's a poem for today by Robert Frost, entitled Gathering Leaves. Spades take up leaves no better than spoons, and bags full of leaves are light as balloons. I make a great noise of rustling all day, like rabbit and deer running away. But the mountains I raise elude my embrace, flowing over my arms and into my face. I may load and unload again and again till I fill the whole shed, and what have I then? Next to nothing for weight, and since they grew duller from contact with earth, next to nothing for color, next to nothing for use, but a crop is a crop, and who's to say where the harvest shall stop? Gathering Leaves by Robert Frost. That's the Writer's Almanac for Sunday, November the 7th, funded by donations from listeners like you, now available on PRX for distribution by your local radio station. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.